The trailer opens up to a tapestry, narrated by a voice who I assume may be the Great Deku Tree. We hear notes from Saria's theme, which instantly made me ugly cry.
At the very edge of this kingdom,
We can see Hyrule Castle, the Great Deku Tree himself, and a great big building or door, possibly representing the Temple or Door of Time. In the bottom left corner, we can see these little spiky details, which could represent rays of light, but what exactly it's depicting, I'm not sure. But seeing as it's right in front of the Great Deku Tree, it could signify when Link receives the spiritual stone of the forest, which appeared in a big blinding light. Above the Great Deku Tree, we can see figures depicting the Kokiri doing various tasks, such as communicating with their fairy companion and trying to pick up a rock. That looks a little familiar, doesn't it? We also hear the theme of the Kokiri forest.
these forest dwellers were called the Kokiri. Each had a fairy companion, and they lived out their innocent lives in these woods.
It's making me choke up. I can't take it. Here we can see another Kokiri pulling out weeds, another lifting rocks, and one who, strangely enough, wielding a sword and shield, seemingly to cut grass, though I don't know why you would need a shield for that, unless they're defending themselves from a Deku Baba or a Deku Scrub. But it's interesting to see another character in the Kokiri forest that isn't Link with a sword and shield. Before moving on to the next scene, a huge shout out to Kokiri Theory for taking all of the shots of the tapestry we were given and attempting to put them together. It seems as if the tapestry has a long vertical story to tell, much of which we are not privy to, but it seems like it begins in the forest and gradually shifts down to Hyrule Castle Town. As the scene shifts from the tapestry to Link, we can look to the left side and see Link's cap, resting on one of the support beams of his bed. It seems to have some new designs and some cool looking beads on the front of it. I can't tell you how good it is to see the cap again. I've really missed the green tunic and the cap so much. Welcome back, pal. Link's Kokiri tunic this time around seems to be more like armor than casual wear. You can see the classic Kokiri symbol engraved on the armor, similar to what you would see on the Deku Shield. The fact that Link is wearing armor and that one of the Kokiri in the tapestry is wielding a sword and shield seems to suggest that the Kokiri forest isn't quite as peaceful as the original game, and that Deku Babas and Deku Scrubs may be more present within the village itself. Yes, the Great Deku Tree does protect them, but then again, even in the original game, that didn't stop Deku Babas from spawning on the path to his domain. So perhaps this time around, the Kokiri wear armor as a safety precaution. Link's pillows, covers, and clothes underneath his armor seem to be woven together with what I can only assume is grass. Geez, wearing a grass shirt, laying on a grass cover and a grass pillow on a stack of hay? That's gotta be so itchy and uncomfortable. When the camera is zoomed in here, we can look at Link's shoulders and see just how finely woven his shirt is. And not just his shirt, but his covers as well. It's all incredibly detailed and looks like it must have taken a long time to put together. If he put it together himself, that's kind of sad, but if Saria did it for him, that's pretty heartwarming. The Triforce of Courage glows on Link's hand. You can even see that the bottom right of the Triforce glows brighter than the rest, signifying that it is indeed the Triforce of Courage. Now, many have pointed out that it's far too early for him to possess it this early in the story, and they're right, but I believe this is not Link in possession of the Triforce. I believe it is merely a sign of his destiny, a call to action, the Triforce choosing him as its future wielder, similar to when the Triforce shined on Link's hand in Zelda 2. Shout out to Zeltic for pointing that out. After all, Link was already considered a child of destiny, bound to a prophecy that was preordained by the gods. It cuts to the title, which now seems to have this golden metallic foil. Reminds me of a golden chocolate wrapper. The music that plays sounds reminiscent of the Hyrule Field theme. And sadly, that's about all I could find. This was a teaser after all, so there isn't much to examine, but there's just enough here to make my inner child scream with excitement. The game looks beautiful, and I imagine it won't be too long before we see some gameplay. Pretty sure we'll get another direct solely focused on just this game. I'm gonna make a prediction that I think Nintendo is planning to release this game on November 23rd, which is the original release date for the original game. If so, that's pretty genius marketing. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.